Regular visitors to my website would have seen the number of blogs that I've written that have been critical about the evidence base of Patrick McGorry's plans for EPIC and his theory that you can spot people at risk of becoming psychotic before they become psychotic. I've actually acquired a training video from Orygen Health Services, Patrick McGorry's service, that trains mental health experts in how to diagnose those perceived to be at ultra high risk of becoming psychotic. I think it's very instructive. It's one thing to read the evidence, it's one thing to read the journal articles, and one thing to read the media reports. It's quite another thing to see what they actually mean in practice. The first fourth of the video relates to a young fellow called Nick, an 18-year-old apprentice electrician, who was assessed by the service as being at risk of becoming psychotic, being at ultra high risk of becoming psychotic. I think it's really worth asking yourself when you watch this video to apply that common sense test and determine for yourself whether you think Nick's sick or really his fundamental problem is he's been forced into a job he hates by his dad and perhaps that he smokes a bit too much dope on the weekends with his mates. You watch it, you decide and apply common sense.
Okay, Nick, so you've told me that things haven't been going very well for a little while now since you started work. I just want to ask you some more detailed questions about the sorts of things you've been experiencing.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, have you had the feeling that something odd is going on that you can't explain?
No, not really.
No, nothing
No.
like that. Have you been feeling puzzled by anything?
No.
Do you feel that you have changed in any way, that who you are has changed?
No.
Or that people around you have changed in some way?
No, not really.
Okay. Have you felt that things around you have a special meaning, or that people have arranged things specially for you?
No.
No?
No.
People been trying to give you any messages?
No.
No? Now, sometimes people have the feeling that someone or something outside of themselves are controlling their thoughts or their feelings. I'm wondering if you're having any experiences like that?
No, not like that.
So you haven't had any feelings or impulses that seem to come from someone else, not yourself?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Do you ever have the feeling that ideas or thoughts are put into your mind that aren't yours?
No.
Okay. And what about the reverse process, having the feeling that thoughts are being taken out of your head?
No, that's never really happened.
Okay. Sometimes people feel that other people can read their minds or hear their thoughts. Does anything like that happen to you?
No.
No?
No.
Can you tell me, has anyone been giving you a hard time or trying to hurt you in any way?
Well, yeah, I suppose that's been a big thing for me. It's gotten really bad. I feel like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually started a new apprenticeship about 3 months ago, and my dad got me into it because one of his mates is doing him a favour, and so he's taken me on. And my dad's an electrician, and he wants me to come in and take over the family business. So I feel that I have to do it, but I really don't want to be there, and I really don't think that I'm really good at being an electrician. So since I started work, I've really felt while I was at work that I was really bad at what I was doing, and I actually felt at the time, I was starting to feel that the guys at work were thinking that I'm really bad at what I'm doing, and that they're laughing at me behind my back and talking about me behind my back. So, I mean, the guys that I work with, they've all got families, and you know, they go fishing together, so they're all a close group of friends, whereas I've got nothing in common with them. So whenever we go on smoko breaks, they all talk with each other, and I tend to smoke by myself because I've got nothing to say to them really. And when during the smoko breaks, you know, when they're laughing, when they're talking, you know, sometimes they look over in my direction, and I feel that they're actually talking about me, and they're laughing at me, and you know, and that they think that I'm really bad at what I do. And I mean, I've made quite a few mistakes at work, and I feel that they're just waiting for me to stuff up because they know I just think that they know that I'm going to stuff up.
So has this been going on the whole time you've been at work?
Well, it was all right when I started, and then a few weeks into it, I really started to get worried because I'd made a few small mistakes. I started to think that, you know, they really were thinking, well, you know, who have we hired here? He doesn't know what he's doing, and that actually got really bad about a month ago. We had a really important deadline that we had to meet, and we were quite stressed, and everyone was really busy, and I was quite anxious because it was just a stressful time during that time, and it got really bad there where every time I was at work and every minute I was actually just looking over my shoulder and looking at the other workers and seeing if they were looking at me and if they were talking about me, and I felt that they were waiting for me to stuff up, so it got bad about a month ago. It's not as bad now. It's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as what it was about a month ago.
So in what way is it a bit better now than it was a month ago?
Well, I suppose back then it was a really stressful period, and everyone was busy at work, and I was really stressed at work. So I think it got worse around that time, but I suppose now it's a bit less stressful at work and not so busy, so it's not as bad, but I still look around and I still feel that as if they're talking about me and as if I'm really bad. They think that I'm really bad at my job.
How do you respond to this? Has it made you do anything differently, or?
Well, I'm always really nervous about going to work, and I hate going to work now, and I don't really do anything differently, but I'm always looking and listening and trying to catch them out, trying to catch them talking about me.
Have you been getting to work every day?
Well, the past few months I've taken a few days off. Well, I've been taking nearly one day off a week, which has been really good.
So that's what I'm wondering about. What's it like for you when you're at home?
When I have the days off and when I'm home, I'm fine, you know. I don't think about work, and I don't worry about what they're thinking of me. And a lot of the times when I get home from work and I think about what's happened earlier in the day, you know, I feel that it's, you know, what I was thinking at the time was pretty silly, and you know, it was, you know, like they care what I'm doing and how good I am.
So you can see it differently when you're at home.
Yeah, when I'm at home, I'm less worried about it, and you know, sometimes I think that what I was thinking was pretty silly at the time, but then when I'm at work, I get really anxious and worried about it.
Okay, so you're having this really hard time at work, and things are okay at home. Do you have has this sort of stuff happen to you anywhere else, or is it just at work?
Not really anywhere else. There was this time, it was about a month ago, during that
really
period.
bad time.
Yeah, there was a couple of times when I was actually on the train on my way to work, and I was really tired and really, really stressed, and I just didn't want to go to work. And I was just standing up on the train, and I saw a couple talking to each other, and I saw another guy start laughing, and I started to think at the time that they were actually talking about me, and they were laughing about me, and I was starting to think that they thought that I was really bad at what I was doing. They knew that I was a bad electrician and I was really bad at what I was doing. So I got really anxious and really worried about that, and really stressed. And that happened for 2 days. That happened twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what happened when the journey ended? You got off the train and you were away from those people. Did you still have those worries? Or?
Well, I was really stressed getting off the train, and then, you know, as I was walking to work, I was sort of thinking about it a bit, and you know, I was thinking, you know, those people don't even know me, and I've never met them before, and they don't even know what I do. So, you know, I was starting to think, you know, how would they know that I'm bad at what I do? So I started to think that, you know, maybe what I was thinking was a bit, you know, it's a bit over the top, a bit stupid. But, you know, at the time, I really was convinced that they were.
It sounds like a really hard time, and then you got to work and the worries would have come on again.
Yeah. On those days, walking to work, I sort of cleared my head a bit and, you know, thought that it was all pretty stupid. And then I got to work, and, you know, when work started again and the guys came into work, and, you know, I still started to sort of worry about what they're thinking, and yeah.
Okay, so you're using marijuana with your friends on the weekends. How are you feeling when you're stoned with your friends?
Feels pretty good. I mean, the reason that I do it is to relax.
And that's the effect that it has?
I just do it just to get away from things and not to think about things or anything like that. So.